You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 472 for Sunday, the 24th of September, 2023.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. And hello there, Jane.
And hello there, Michelle. And how are we doing this fine September, late September? Crikey, we're nearly in October, aren't we?
Let's just say it's Christmas.
Well, did you see the dress that I bought? It's got Christmas pattern on it. It's because it was a bargain. It was in the sale, so I couldn't resist. I just had to have it.
Yeah, look at Jane's Instagram, at Jane Phipps. She's buying the Christmas clothes. Although I will say I have done something very similar myself. I have purchased a Christmas print to wear for my holidays. Although it kind of is Halloween Christmas because it's got skeletons with roses and flowers all around it. So it's kind of Coco-esque Morocco Pavilion Epcot vibe.
It's funny, isn't it, how we can buy things that have got nothing to do whatsoever with Disney and we can somehow or other find a Disney connection in them.
Well, Jane, at the weekend you had to laugh. I got Joseph's clothes because he was staying for the weekend. I got his clothes out and I just realised I looked at him. Light blue shorts, white and blue striped T-shirt. Oh my God, my grandson's bounding as Mr. Smee, and it was a complete accident.
Yes, that's what you're telling the world, Michelle. It
Honest.
was an accident. Honest, she says.
And I promise I didn't go running around the house trying to find my red banner from Pirate Night on the Disney Fantasy to sort of do a jaunty little necktie for him, I promise.
Yeah, of course you didn't.
Not at all. I must admit, though, it is lovely when you wear these really nice, quirky clothes that, you know, at school, the kids come up to me. I like your dress. Every day, it's the same group of girls. I like your dress. Ooh, what are you going to wear tomorrow? Oh, today's got bunny rabbits. Hang on a minute, Miss Young. You've got that bunny rabbit, but it's dungarees and you're wearing a dress today. Did you change it in from dungarees into a dress? And I just love how their little minds work. And yeah.
Yeah, well, life is for the living, isn't it, Michelle? And we embrace the quirky over here, don't we?
We embrace the quirky and fabulous at 50 plus.
50 plus, yes, definitely.
Let's get on with the Disney, and I am going to do a belated birthday shout out to our beautiful, our gorgeous, our wonderful friend Caroline Gray, who had her birthday on the 21st of September. Happy birthday. And I know I'm really excited because Disney planning might be happening soon with Caroline, so I'm very excited.
Yay.
I know. She's been through hell and back this year, so I really, really cannot wait to have some Disney magic for her.
Yeah, she needs that little bit of the Disney carrot, so to speak, at the end of the stick, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, to get her through when days aren't feeling so great.
Yeah. Always good to have something to look forward to. Yeah, definitely.
Me and a co-worker are having a trip on the same day, and every day we go and put post-its on each other's desk just to remind each other how close we're getting to our holidays.
Oh, that's so nice.
It is. Not long. Anyway, Jane, you have a smattering of history, I believe.
Yeah, I've got 3 birthdays. I thought we'd go all upbeat. This weekend. So we're going to, I know quite a long while ago as well, actually. 1894 we're going to start with. This is the birthday of a comedian, actor and voice artist, Billy Bletcher, who was born in Pennsylvania. Now, he started working with Disney in 1933 as he was the voice of the big bad wolf in The Three Little Pigs. He then went on to supply the voice for Peg-Leg Pete and then lots of other characters throughout Disney's career. And he did things like Who Killed Cock Robin, and he was a clown in Dumbo. He also voiced some of the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz, along with Pinto Colvig, who was the voice of Goofy.
Cool.
There you go. And he then became the voice of Killer the Bulldog in the Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Wow, very much in demand young man.
Very much in demand. Then we're going to move forward to 1934 and a name that I think is quintessentially associated with Disney, and that's the animator Frank Thomas. So one of the nine old men. He was born in 1934. He worked on numerous films, too many to mention, up until he retired in 1978. I actually got the Wikipedia page up. I just thought, oh, just have a quick look and just see, how many films. And yeah, I would just say, we'll put a link to the Wikipedia page in the blog notes because it'd be far easier than me sitting here and reeling out all the films that he got involved with. It'd be ridiculous. So yeah, Frank Thomas, 1934. And then another fantastic creative person in 1936 was the birthday of Jim Henson, creator of course, of The Muppets and the original voice of Kermit the Frog. So yeah, I mean, he unfortunately had a very untimely passing away in 1990, but yeah, another Disney legend.
And isn't that a perfect reason to celebrate their contribution to enhancing our world? So happy birthday.
Yeah, lots of birthdays. Love that.
Right. Well, we have a few bits and pieces. Did you see that there was a bear near the Magic Kingdom earlier in the week?
How bizarre. I didn't even know, this shows how ignorant Jane is, that black bears were in Florida.
Well, now we know.
Now we know.
Because we've got the right photos to prove it of them enjoying themselves on the Haunted Mansion with no wait because they'd closed the attraction to capture this bear.
It is kind of one of those bizarre stories that you can see it making headlines, with one of those memory things in years to come, and people go, no, that's just an urban legend. That didn't happen. It's like, no, it did. It happened. Yeah.
What was really heartening to see was that they had the professionals on site from Fish and Wildlife, and there was a video released showing the bear being sort of released in its natural environment away from the theme park guests.
I did think it was quite funny that obviously it had gone there in search of food. Obviously knows Disney's got some good nosh to have.
Where would you think a bear would want to eat? I think it'd be looking for a turkey leg.
Yeah, it's going to have to go for something meaty, isn't it?
I can't see it waiting in line at Sleepy Hollow for a waffle.
No, it doesn't want the carbs. It's storing up for winter, isn't it? So, yeah, it should be after lots of proteins and lots of fats, I think.
Yeah, so definitely the turkey leg. Possibly scarf down a few burgers from Cosmic Rays.
Yes.
Where else?
Pop into Pecos Bills. There's
Pecos
burgers in
Bills.
there and tacos.
Avoid the spicy stuff though, bears, because we know that what that can do. We are joking, but we do appreciate that Disney does this extra level of care, and I think you can see that if you've ever done other backstage trips and tours at Animal Kingdom and seen the facilities that they have for these animals and the level of care that they put towards these, and it was really lovely to see that it had been dealt with in such a manner to ensure that, yes, annoying if you were a park guest that the rides were temporarily closed, but it was to ensure guest safety, one of those really important keys that Disney hold very close to their heart in every decision that they supposedly make.
Absolutely. And it also goes to show just what they're doing in regards to health and safety each and every day before they even open the park. So, I think we kind of forget sometimes, we walk through the gates at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and you forget all the behind the scenes stuff that's happening well before those parks open. So it's good to remember that as well.
And if you're anything like me and you've stayed in the Magic Kingdom or in Disneyland till the absolute last minute where the cast members are trying to walk you down Main Street and you are literally being followed by those men with those really weird contraptions that are part Hoover, part lawnmower with these huge bags that sort of suck up all of the detritus that's left on the parade routes or firework routes or just the main thoroughfares, and they sort of like ensuring that the park gets sparkly clean for the next day. And you've got to bear in mind that in summer Disneyland, it's not closing till after midnight, and that's when people can still get into ride queues. If you wait in an hour, it's like 1:15 before people are slowly being shoved out. And they've not got long before it opens up again at 7:30 in the morning. So it's a really well coordinated, driven machine to get everything pristine, to have no reminiscent memories of the night before celebrations.
Yeah, very quick turnaround some days, very quick.
And it just goes to show that those wonderful cast members that are in charge of that are fantastic. And we never see them to say thank you.
No. Thank you, guys.
Much love. Last week you shared some news about your fantastic dip in the water to a Disney cruise line. I thought this week I would finish off a little bit of a chat regarding Disneyland, because I do know quite a few of our listeners, hello Wells Family Adventure Team people, are planning their very first trip over to the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. And I thought, I've had an annual pass for a number of years at California. I have made numerous trips, and I thought, well, maybe if some of my knowledge might help them, and I can talk a little bit about my second day in the most magical place I could ever wish to spend a hot, sunny August day.
Yes, because if memory serves me right, didn't you have a bit of a toss-up between where you were going to spend that second day?
It was so difficult to decide, Jane, because we hadn't gone into DCA because we couldn't afford park hopper tickets, because there were going to be an extra $60 each, and that was a lot of money. And we didn't feel a one park day ticket to go into DCA would have enough to keep us busy from 7:30 in the morning through till 10 o'clock at night when the park was going to close. So we're in a bit of a dilemma over that, particularly as areas such as San Francisco hadn't fully opened up yet. And
of course, yeah.
We just sort of had a really big discussion, and in the end I took a step back because Mr. Husband hadn't been to Disneyland for quite a number of years, and he hadn't been to Walt Disney World for a number of years. I think his last visit was 2018 to Walt Disney World and Disneyland at Christmas. So there's a lot of attractions that Disneyland had opened that he hadn't seen or enjoyed, and we were quite cognizant that he wanted to have another glimpse at them, another ride of them. And so we sort of decided, okay, we'll go and spend the day in Disneyland. And accidentally, we ended up giving ourselves a bit of a challenge, which was quite hysterically funny when we thought about it, because we didn't start the day out like that at all.
Okay, so what was the intention, and then what did you actually end up doing?
Well, the intention was to pootle around the park and just hit all the attractions we really wanted to go on again that aren't at Walt Disney World. And I suppose you've got to bear in mind, if you're a Walt Disney World person, there's some key attractions in Disneyland that you need to do, because one, they're not at Walt Disney World, or two, they are significantly different experiences that you really do want to see it, or they're a different version to Disneyland Paris if you've been to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
So we were thinking of the main things that spring to your mind that are quite different over there. Well, you have got Nemo. The submarine voyage is something you haven't got in any other theme parks. So we had to go down that route. Obviously, you're talking about Snow White. You're talking about the Matterhorn. You are talking about Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. The Space Mountain is different. There is a Pinocchio attraction in Fantasyland. So there was quite a list forming in our head, and that's what we tried to focus on day one on the Sunday. Well, this was the Tuesday, and it was a really quiet day according to Touring Plan's predictions. And as we were walking around, it was like, where is everybody? There was nobody there.
Oh, that quiet. Wow.
So we walked up Main Street, and we weren't weren't in a rush. We were taking pictures. We saw the opening show with Mickey and Minnie and Chip and Dale. It was fantastic. Really nice to see on the backside of the train station. And we meandered up Main Street, and I walked past Astro Orbiter, and it's oodles of years since I've done it, and I just thought, it's a walk-on. There's nobody there. Because it's a brutal queue, Jane, let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's no shade from the sun. It's there all the time. I thought, no, I'm going to have to do something here. So I got on. Tomsky didn't want to do it, so I said, okay, fine. So I went on solo, and he was just happy. And then, we're in Tomorrowland. Okay, well, let's do Star Tours then, because we didn't do Star Tours the other day. And again, walk on.
Wow.
Then we went to Buzz Lightyear. We hadn't done that the other day. I hate this attraction because I'm rubbish at it. It's like I might as well just shoot at anything because my hand-eye coordination with the laser beam is appalling.
You and me both.
Yeah, it's just like I just might as well just sit there and take pictures or read a book because it's just totally useless for me.
I like to have a try. I wouldn't say I'm only good at it, but I like to have a go.
Yeah. So we were plodding around, making our way, and we thought, let's split Space Mountain. Hello. That is a very different attraction to what there is in Walt Disney World, particularly because for me, I like it because you sit side by side.
Yes, I must admit, yeah, that's what does appeal to me. Although I've not ridden it, that is what appeals to me about Disneyland's version.
Yeah. And the track you're on is going to be the same track every time because in Walt Disney World, they have Alpha and Omega tracks and the tracks are different. And I always end up going round to the right-hand track and I don't like it as much. It's not as comfortable. I love the one in Disneyland. It always makes me happy, particularly if I'm on the front row because I get all of that fresh blast in my face, if you know what I mean. So we then started to think, let's try and do all the attractions in Tomorrowland. So we went on the Autopia machine thing, noisy, whatever.
Noisy, smelly, yeah.
And we managed to get into a car that kept stalling the whole way round. So there was a queue of angry drivers behind, probably saying, keep the British out of our theme park.
Yeah, maybe another reason not to go on that ride.
Yeah, but as we were wandering around, we noticed on the attraction a lot of the number plates, and I'd never noticed that before, that they were like keys to significant dates or significant people. And I will share that over on Instagram, some of the pictures that we managed to get of the number plates. And I thought that could be quite a fun game for our younger listeners to maybe see how many license plates they can spot while they're in the queue.
Yeah, and figure out the meaning of them, definitely.
Yeah. So we did Autopia. We went on and did the submarine voyage. Again, it was a walk-on. It took us longer, actually, for them to seal the hatch of the submarine than actually anything else. And, yeah, that was ace. Did that. And we thought, well, where do we go from here? Okay. We're at Nemo. Let's do Alice. Let's do the Teacups. Let's do Storybook. And then let's go to Toontown. And we did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is...
Yeah.
I love the Disneyland version purely for the queue, but there are some slight little differences, little nuances in the actual sequence as you're going around. And I think I prefer the last show scene in Walt Disney World better than the Disneyland one. There is a slight difference.
Okay.
Then we went to Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And I hate this queue with a passion. It is awful. I really, really hate it. We had ridden it the other day when we were there with Tommy, Lena and Nan. And as I said on the show, 3 of us tried to get into one vehicle and it wasn't happening, no. But yeah, the queue wasn't too horrific, so we did that. And then we thought, let's do Chip and Dale's Go Coaster. Let's go do that. And then we went to finish off Fantasyland. So we did Casey Jr., Peter Pan, Mr. Toad, Pinocchio, the Carousel. We did Snow White. We did Dumbo. We did the Matterhorn. Wow. And I just looked at Tom and I said, we're smashing through these attractions, mate. We're absolutely blasting it. And it
That's
was right.
that was an awful lot of attractions you've just recounted. And how long did it take you to get through all those then, Michelle?
I think it was round about lunchtime,
Wow,
about one-ish.
that's not too bad going, my dear.
So we decided to get on the train at Toontown and we did the entire 360, the entire journey, all the way round, which was lovely.
Yeah.
We got off and we headed to Big Thunder. We rode on Rise. And this time on Rise, oh, it was so funny. We got into one part of the attraction, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it was sort of halfway through the attraction, and you sort of divided off into these sort of pod things. And what was supposed to happen didn't.
Right.
They came in to tell us it will be happening and closed the door. Then they said, oh no, it's not happening, come out. So we went out and we reformed a line and got a different colour, and then were sent in a different room, and then what was supposed to happen did happen.
Okay.
And then we went on the attraction, and as we were going round the attraction, we found somebody's straw hat on the floor, and we kind of put two and two together and thought maybe there was a hard stop because of that hat being blown onto the floor. I don't know. I don't know about the sensors on the attraction, but yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So if you do Rise, you've got to do Falcon.
Of course, yeah.
And then we came out and we went to do Pooh. Not a Pooh, but Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, of course.
Then we had to go on Pirates.
Right, yeah.
And we thought, oh, Indiana Jones, let's wander around there. And Indy was down. It wasn't operating. And at this point, we started to get that momentum thinking, we've got to do it. We've got to do everything. We've got to do everything. Got to ride everything. Oh, Indy will be back. It'll be back. It'll be fine. So we went and did Jungle Cruise.
Right.
We went in the tiki room with the obligatory Dole Whip.
Of course.
Went and had a nap with Mr. Lincoln. Although I didn't have a nap. By this time, it was much later in the day, because you've got to bear in mind we had been through Big Thunder, Rise of the Resistance and Falcon, which all ate a big chunk of our day. I think Rise, it wasn't a horrifically long queue. I think it was about 40 minutes, same roughly for Falcon, but we did have those queues again with Jungle Cruise. Tiki, obviously, with 10 minutes to the next show. I think we were getting to round about 7-ish.
Right.
So we just got down to Mr. Lincoln and missed it. So we did Lincoln, and then we thought we'd have a bit of a break and have something to eat, and we decided we was going to hit an attraction for the second time.
Oh, right.
And we rode Space Mountain again because we love it.
Cool.
No sign of Indy. Indy was down, and we're now hitting about 9:30, and there was two things we hadn't done.
So Indy being one of them.
Indy being one of them, and It's a Small World.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't do It's a Small World on the Sunday, so we thought we really are, So we did It's a Small World, and we said, look, we'll do It's a Small World while fireworks are happening, so we're out of the way, and then we can get over to Indiana Jones. It was down. So at about 20 to 11, we had to make an executive decision. Did we have to sit it out till the park closed to see if Indy was going to reopen? Or did we think, look, we've been here since 7:30, we are exhausted, we have done over 25,000 steps or something ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah, I bet.
We think, time to call it a day? We did do Indy on the Sunday. It was one of the first attractions we did. So we kind of looked at each other and thought, we're shattered.
Yeah.
We are absolutely shattered. So we did a little bit of shopping, went in the candy store, got a few little bits of pieces. Of course, as Marla Chan tells me, I have to get churro toffee. Had to get the churro toffee. So again, Vicky, you will have to try the churro toffee, and bear in mind it is the sugariest and sweetest thing you will ever eat in your life. I also got some of the Disneyland toffee, the English toffee, which isn't anything like English toffee, that is covered in nuts.
Okay.
It always makes me chuckle. However, they have put the price up to nearly $17 a bag, so I only bought one bag.
Ouch.
but it's this sort of like brittle toffee in sort of like a
Okay.
roughly about 10 centimetre long, 3 centimetre wide, rectangular shape, and then I think it's sort of dipped into chocolate and then covered in mashed up nuts.
Okay.
It's very nice, very nice. I also went and bought a Matterhorn macaroon, which, despite being incredibly cheap, has shrunk somewhat in its width.
This seems to be a pattern no matter whether you're at Disney or whether you're going to your local supermarket. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So we then thought, oh, it's time to go. Let's leave, because we have to bear in mind we still have a 20-minute walk all the way down Harbour Boulevard to get to our hotel.
Yes, of course.
So
yeah.
I think by the time we'd had a shower and got comfortable in the room, it was like midnight.
That's a day well spent then, Michelle.
I think we got value for the dollars we paid for our theme park ticket. And I think when you're looking at the days where it's like 160 odd dollars a day, getting in 30 plus attractions like we did, you see value. But I think how we managed it was being very strategic. We didn't do parades, we didn't do fireworks, we didn't hang around for long lazy lunches or having a sit down with a coffee. We were on it, we were on the go. And if I look at my fitness app, there isn't one bit where I'm pausing, apart from the little bits where we have a short break in a queue. And I think that's quite an achievement, that we can sort of say, oh, we've done all of Disneyland that was open in a day.
Do you think it helped by the fact that you were there so early as well, Michelle? Because I mean, I have heard, I don't know whether you can vouch for this as well, that Disneyland tends to get busier the later in the day because that's when maybe the locals will come into the park.
Yeah, it definitely picked up in the afternoon. I know a lot of people who were there, maybe arrive 9-10 o'clock and then disappear, or maybe come later in the day, or even come after work for something to eat and a couple of attractions. So we wanted to try, when we sort of realised, hang on a minute, we can possibly get round everything, we wanted to make sure we got into Galaxy's Edge before it got too late, because another thing with Rise of the Resistance, it frequently breaks down.
Yes.
And when it breaks down, all those people with lightning lanes come back later to get through, and your standby line could become a wait by line of a very long line.
Very long time, yeah.
So, as I say, we went round sort of like going from the right all the way round the park. If I'd have planned it properly, I think what I would have probably done is go to the back of the park, go on the Galaxy's Edge attractions, and then gone round and maybe done Adventureland, and then go to Tomorrowland into Fantasyland and picking all the other odd bits up here and there, because I think that's where the crowds would have been. But we never decided until we were halfway through that we were going to try and attract to do this as well.
But that's interesting though, Michelle, that obviously you've spotted the fact that it was relatively quiet and you were hitting all those walk-ons effectively quite early on in the day. So recognising that actually this is a doable thing and making best of what you've got. So even if you've not decided to go and do that, just watch what's happening and make those on-the-spot decisions, isn't it?
Yeah. And it proves that the 2 days that I had in Disneyland, I was able to go on every single attraction. I was able to see the fireworks, the parade. I was able to see some attractions twice. So 2 days in Disneyland can pretty much get you everything. The only thing that we didn't do, because it was closed on the day, was to go and see the version of Lion King all the way up at the back of the park.
Right, okay.
That was one thing that we didn't do, and we didn't see a lot of streetmosphere. But to be honest, I really do enjoy seeing the Dapper Dans and things like that. I did occasionally fall into seeing them, but I never saw the entire whole thing. But I didn't think I missed out on anything.
No, I think, Michelle, only being there for a limited length of time, you have to make your choices, don't you? You've got to decide what it is that's your priority. And having been able to do the parade and fireworks the previous day, then at least I think it's very important that, and it's going to be different for everybody, if you have those must-do things or things that, like you said before, about those items that are in that park that aren't elsewhere, then you need to prioritise and go for it. And I think perhaps attractions maybe one up things like the Streetmosphere and stuff like that.
And again, it depends on what your family's wishes are. You know, when I go away with Caroline, she likes to meet a lot of the characters. So particularly Jack and Sally, she wouldn't mind waiting a while to go and see those characters. So for her, we'd probably discuss a strategy of, oh, where can we meet these characters? Okay, they're over there. Let's go and do that as a priority and get the priorities ticked off on the list fairly early. And then anything else is an absolute bonus. But I just have to say that I rode on the amazing Casey Jr. and we're on the back row and we got such a lovely little view over to the Storybook Canal boats.
Oh.
It really made my heart warm, and it just really just makes me think it's even the simplest of rides like that done well and with a story, and it just brings back all those big warm hugs of watching Disney films when I was younger. Like Dumbo was a particular family favourite. We used to watch it a lot. So yeah, that was my Disneyland day. And I was in Anaheim the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and most of Wednesday. What I did in between is on the Monday we had a Go Steady day, and we went and did some shopping. We went up to downtown Disney. We went to Salt and Straw and paid an extortionate amount for ice cream. It was delicious, but it was ridiculous. 2 ice creams, $11.
Ouch.
Maybe in hindsight we should have got a cup and shared because there was a lot of ice cream. We were going to get beignets, but again, sticker shock. It was just too pricey. I just didn't do it. So we just meandered around on that Monday and had an early night because we knew Tuesday was at the resort, and Wednesday we had to pack all up and get ready to go on the next part of our adventure, which was going over to Santa Monica. And unfortunately on that Wednesday I was a poorly little puppy, so I didn't feel very, very well. So it was kind of nice just to sort of hang around the resort and chill and relax until we made our way over to Santa Monica.
Yeah, well, at least the illness didn't stop you from enjoying Disneyland, which was the most important thing, wasn't it?
Never. So, our lovely friends at the Unofficial Guides have very kindly sent us a copy of the Unofficial Guide to Disneyland for 2024.
Crikey, they are already. Yeah, getting to that time of year again, isn't it?
I've got the Walt Disney World one already, and the Disneyland one I am going to give away to one of our lovely listeners. I don't care where in the world you live, so you just need to apply. I would like the applications to our email address, info@disneydreamgirls.com, and the question I am posing to you is a 2-parter because it's a very expensive book plus postage. What attraction did I do twice on my Disneyland day on the Tuesday where I went round everything in the park? And what attraction did I fail to ride because it was closed? Pop those 2 names on an email across to me, and I will close this off on show 474, and I will give you the names of the lucky winner of that book. Exciting stuff, Jane?
Very.
So make sure you're following us over on Instagram @DisDreamGirls. We are still continually sharing content of our recent travels all over the place. Email info@disneydreamgirls.com for your competition entries, questions, comments or anything. If you want to send some love our way, why not update or even do a new iTunes review for us? It does make us feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside, and also helps other people find our Disney podcast as well. Our show notes are on disneydreamgirls.com, which is our website and your portal to every single episode we've ever released. Apart from one thing, If it's a Patreon show, it's exclusive to Disney Dreamgirls Patreon page, patreon.com/Disney Dreamgirls. And there you will find past shows as well as exclusive content created just for our Patreons. I think that's all the plugs I need to do there, Jane.
That was very well done, Michelle. I loved how you just flowed into that. Very good.
I know. Even with a sore throat, I can manage to excel. I'm doing okay. Right, my lovelies. Until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.